Welcome to Rusty's World. It's time for some C-SPAN Smackdown. But to make it all make sense, we gotta go back in time and check out a little bit of Napoleon Dynamite.
8,000 hens moved into their new cages. Sometimes they don't want to cooperate, but you give them a good shake and they'll settle down for you.
Do the chickens have large talons?
They have what?
Large talons.
I don't understand a word you just said.
Okay. All right, cool. You're all prepped. I'm gonna play this, then we're gonna break it down.
Well, when does the president have to get permission of the United States Congress to use military force?
Well, Senator Kennedy, as I was discussing with Ranking Member Durbin, I do want to be careful about hypotheticals in terms of prejudging.
It's not a hypothetical. I'm asking what the Constitution says. When does the President of the United States have to get permission from Congress to use military force?
Generally, Senator, my understanding is the divisions between Article 1 and Article 2 distinguish between the war powers, which are under Article 1 and require congressional consent.
Okay, I don't mean to cut him off, but please tell me you can see the lady on the right is like, no, you're blowing it. Nope. And look at this chick behind him. She's like, oh, he's fucked.
And again, talking in great generalities, whereas other use of force, if I understand your question.
She's like, word salad.
And are things that are likely committed under Article 2 to the president's commander-in-chief powers.
I have no idea what you just said, Mr. Hendershot. Let's try it again. Tell me.
I don't understand a word you just said.
Okay. All right. For real though, let's play this and see what the heck they're actually talking about.
Well, when does the president have to get permission of the United States Congress to use military force?
Okay, boom. That's it. That's the whole question. All right. When does the president have to get permission to use military force? So let's break this down and sort of figure out what's going on. All right. So first of all, let's see. At Wednesday's Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, Senator John Kennedy, Republican, Louisiana. Okay, let's start there. Senator John Kennedy. John Neely Kennedy, can you guys see that? Born in 1951, is the junior U.S. Senator for Louisiana. He's held the seat since 2017. All right, yeah, so 9 years. Republican and former Democrat. He's a conservative known for his folksy, humorous, and sharp-tongued questioning style in committee hearings. Yeah, no shit. Okay, all right, cool. He's a Republican senator. Okay, Michael J. Hendershot, nominee to be a U.S. District Judge for the Northern District of Ohio. All right, let's see what this guy's all about. Let me guess. He's rich as hell, gave a ton of money to Trump, and now he's going to be appointed as a district judge. Okay, let's see. Mike Hendershot. Nominated to the U.S. District Court. Okay, on April 1st, President Trump nominated him. He's got his education from different places. He spent summers as an associate at Jones Day. I mean, honestly, I'm looking for some dirt on this guy, but he might be just super awesome. He could be just a stand-up guy. All right, so fine. So these are the contenders, right? We've got a senator from Louisiana, and then we've got Mike from Ohio, I think. All right. And then the main question is, of course, when does the president Ah, damn it. Have to get, oh, boom, right there. Look, have to get congressional approval. All right, so let's just, let's see what the Constitution says. Under the Constitution, Congress holds the sole power to formally declare war, but presidents frequently take military action without approval, citing their authority. The War Powers Resolution of 73 requires the president to notify Congress within 48 hours and limits unauthorized engagements to 60 days, though it's often contested. Interesting. So let's see, we're 8 weeks in to a 3-day war, and that must be why he's asking him. Because maybe, I don't know, shit, is he going to be high enough? Hang on, let's go back to Alliance for Justice? No, maybe Ballotpedia. U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Ohio. Would he have anything to do with war powers?
Well, Senator Kennedy, as I was discussing with Ranking Member Durbin, I do want to be careful about hypotheticals in terms of prejudging.
It's not a hypothetical. I'm asking what the Constitution says.
Yeah, it's not a hypothetical considering we have been in a shooting war with Iran for weeks now.
When does the President of the United States have to get permission from Congress to use military force?
Oh, he does have a sharp tongue.
Generally, Senator, my understanding is the divisions between Article 1 and Article 2 distinguish between...
You can see that, right? This chick is like, she I don't think she thinks he's doing very good.
The war powers, which are under Article 1 and require congressional consent. Again, it's talking in great generalities, whereas other use of force, if I understand your question, are things that are likely committed under Article 2 to the president's commander-in-chief powers.
I have no idea what you just said, Mr. Hendershot. Let's try it again.
There goes that sharp tongue again, Senator
Tell me
Kennedy.
when the president has to go to Congress to get permission to use military force.
Senator, I think is when, because the text of the Constitution, Article 1, talks about declarations of war, those would be circumstances where the president would, in a general sense, and use of force that is not war under the commander-in-chief power. I think those are under Article 2 without the consultation of Congress.
Okay.
Word salad. Words, and more words.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. I just don't understand what you said. Mr. Jones.
Uh-oh. We got a second contender. C-SPAN Smackdown.
Let's suppose the mayor of a city.
Okay, listen, I've actually watched this before, and this analogy sucks balls. But I'm going to give him, you might think different.
Well, strike that. Let's suppose the mayor of a city goes to his or her city council and gets a rule freezing rents. You with me?
Nope, I'm not with you because we're talking about other stuff like war?
Yes, sir.
Freezing all rents.
Yes, sir.
Forever and a day. Well, no, let's make it even more interesting.
I told you this analogy sucks.
Reducing rents by 20% because housing is a problem, right? Cost of
housing is a problem.
Let's suppose to try to help people with housing costs, the city, mayor and council uses its police power under its state constitution as recognized by the federal constitution. So we're going to lower our rents by 20%. And as a result, because of the cost of insurance and electricity and that sort of thing, about half of...
Oh God, this is still going? And let's just suppose there's a lady named Ruth and Ruth is struggling to buy groceries, but she also spends evenings writing the next great American novel. And that 20% reduction in housing prices would help get Ruth over the edge.
The landlords in the city just say, look, we're going to have to default on our mortgage. Can this constitutionally, can the city do that?
Well, Senator, I think
This guy's like, how the fuck should I know? That's not even an actual question.
it could depend. I do think the city could have some ability to freeze rents. But I think you would have to look at
Why isn't that a taking?
well, it certainly could be a taking. And I think,
When does it become a taking? At what point?
well, I think it would have to be, you'd have to initially look at the impact, the financial impact on the taking of
Okay.
what could amount to a property.
Let's suppose that's fair. Yes, sir.
That is fair. That's a fair answer to a very confusing question.
40% of the landlords will default on their mortgage. Have you reached the point of a taking or not? And how do you determine when you reach the point of a taking?
Well, again, I think it could depend, but there would have to be a showing that, what the financial impact was. And I
Yes,
think
sir. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude. We just have so little time. I
That
understand.
sharp tongue. Yeah, no shit, man. You have 6 minutes and you told like a whole story that doesn't make any
You have to have a
sense.
showing. Tell me what the rule is.
Well, I think the rule is if you're taking property without the government, I should say, taking property for a legitimate government purpose, I think you can only do that by compensating the owner of the property.
So
Generally-
any freeze on rent is a act of eminent domain? So
Well, not necessarily, Senator. I think in your hypothetical, you were
What about Ruth? Tell me, is Ruth going to make it? Will she get
at least
published?
as I understood it, we're talking about a financial impact, not just freezing it at the moment, but then going on down the
Okay.
road.
In the hypothetical I gave you, who's going to win if the landlord sue the city or the landlords?
Oh, definitely Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's going to win because he's
Well,
the
I think
natural.
again, it would depend on the length.
You're not going to give me an answer, are you?
Well, I think it could depend. I know that's a very lawyerly answer, Senator. But
Yes,
I
sir, it
think
is very hard.
depend on,
Judge, let me ask you a question in the few minutes I have. Tell me under what circumstances the state legislature can draft a statute that makes a distinction that classifies people on the basis of race.
What? Where did that come from? Okay, I really should have watched all this before I before I filmed this video because I'm completely lost. He went from war powers to rent control to something about race. It must be so much fun to be a senator. You can just everyone has to listen to you, and you could just be like, bananas. And for 6 minutes, you could just say whatever you want.
Senator, I think, Chair Grassa, may I answer?
Yes, and then we'll go to Senator Goins.
Thank you, Senator. I think these circumstances would depend on the specifics of United States Supreme Court case
I'm
law.
not-
And
get-
God, his voice is really deep, really like a nice. He should have a podcast.
Just give me
The
some
state
examples. Just give me some
constitution
examples.
Senator, on the basis of race, I think in United States Supreme Court has held that there should be no classification.
No, they've just said you got to have a compelling reason.
I feel so bad for these guys. Thank you. And this has been C-SPAN Smackdown.